everyone, and welcome to the My Ray of Sunshine podcast. My name is Mayra, and I'm here to help you receive the advice you deserve. Now, if you all are here, it's probably because you want to know how you can tell if you're in love. And I know this is a very cheesy topic, but I mean, if you clicked on it, there has to be a reason, right? And plus, not only is it a cheesy topic, but it's going to be an even cheesier episode. So just get ready, to say the least. So, a way that you can tell if you are in love, if you found the one, is literally as simple as this. Things just flow so naturally. And I hear this all the time, okay? All the time, how people occasionally say, things are just easy. It's because it is. And not saying that having a relationship or being in a relationship or maintaining a relationship is easy. Whether that's a relationship, a marriage, it's not easy. But it should technically just fall into place when it's with the right person. And that's what I'm trying to get across. Because things just kind of flow naturally. You can be yourself around them. You have a lot of chemistry. There's no awkward silences. It's just simple and it's just easy, I guess. I don't know how else to explain it. You really have to make sure that the person you're with knows you at your very, very worst, although you might not want it to be that way, and that they know you at your very, very best. Because as cheesy as a quote says, if you don't love me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. I knew it was true as soon as I got into a relationship. So it's just important to just realize that things just come easily. They just flow naturally. There's chemistry there. You guys are constantly giggling, laughing together. There's never a dull moment. And you know the other saying that time flies when you're having fun? I mean, it's the truth. You're just having so much fun. You're with someone and literally time just escapes you. Time just keeps on ticking and zooming on by, and then before you know it, you have to say goodbye and you have to wait to see them again. And that's just because you're so extremely excited all over again. That excitement feeling, it just keeps growing. And especially with someone that you love and care about. And even if you guys aren't in the I love you stage yet, these could be huge indicators showing you that maybe, okay, it might take you some time to realize that you are in love, that you love someone. But, I mean, these simple signs just kind of piece things together. It really all depends on the partner that you choose to be with. And it really all depends on their personality, how much fun you guys have together, and just how things just flow naturally again. Things are just easy. Another way that you can tell that you could be falling in love is if you literally miss them the second they leave, or the second you leave, or simply even having something to tell them, even if you spent the whole weekend together or the whole day together. You're just like, oh my gosh, how could I forget to tell you this? And you're just excited to tell them that certain thing. And it just doesn't make sense sometimes because people on an outsider's perspective may think you were just with them this whole time, or you were with them all weekend. How did you not remember to tell them X, Y, and Z? And it's because while you were with that person, you were having so much fun just hanging out together, and you completely, your mind just went crazy and you just completely blanked out. And that's usually happens when you're just so relaxed, you're at your comfort level, you're with someone, you're happy, you're just excited to be around them, you're excited to enjoy the moment, whatever you guys do. And it's just, you didn't think to tell them that one thing. And I think that's what kind of makes things even more exciting, is when you're still excited to talk to them or call them or text them as soon as you left them. And I think it's also special. It's a special thing because it shows that, like, hey, you guys won't run out of things to talk about. You guys won't have those awkward silences. Things are just, going well. And another indicator that is a huge indicator, actually, to kind of see where your head is at, testing how you're feeling, is simply if you literally have fun doing nothing. And let me just rephrase that. You guys could literally be at home watching movies. At his house, he could be at your house. You guys could just be together watching movies, watching a show, playing a game, walking outside, just hanging out, or even on your phones. Like, if you're with someone all the time, like, you're going to be bound to be on your phone. And even if that means showing them TikToks or them showing you funny memes, you guys are still sharing those moments and sharing those silly posts to each other because you guys matter to each other. You guys see each other in more of like a best friend kind of thing. And when you can just have fun, not doing much, that's the key indicator that, like, you're with the right person and they're keeping you happy and you're on the verge of falling in love. It's really that simple, guys. I think it's really difficult when, like, you're first starting out and you're trying to figure out if someone is the right person for you, if you guys are going to be a good match, if you guys are going to be compatible. But I think, like, that's just some of the things that you can see right away. And a lot of that has to do with the chemistry you guys have together. And that just determines, like, how comfortable you're going to be around them, how much you guys are going to, like, just talk about everything and anything and just enjoy each other's company, no matter what. I can't tell you how many times, like, I come home from hanging out with my boyfriend and we literally just hang out. Like, we play video games. I hang out with his family. He hangs out with mine. We're just together spending quality time. And I have so much fun over the weekends. And I look forward to just a lazy day. And not saying that we never go out, but we're just both such homebodies. And I think every couple's dynamic is different because either there's going to be the couple that goes out all the time, or there's going to be homebodies like us, or, just like a nice balance. But I think what's great about it too is that, like, we can choose to, hey, like, let's spark things up. Let's change things up a bit. Let's go out to dinner, or let's watch a movie, or let's go to the mall, or do absolutely anything. And we still have a great time. Like, it's insane. And I think that, like, sometimes even doing errands or, like, just having them with you makes it fun. Like, I don't know why or how, but I know a huge indicator for me, for instance, is, like, even if let's say I have to go grocery shopping, or I have to buy someone a birthday card or something, I choose to do that with my partner because I know that, like, it'll be a fun experience. Like, even if it's nothing exciting, we're just buying milk at the store or something silly like that, like just having him around, like we're always going to be laughing about anything and everything. So it's just fun having him and taking him to run those errands, because where you would think that it sucks, you have to go grocery shopping, you have to buy milk, like how boring is that? You have your person to kind of make it fun, make it an adventure. And that's what I'm trying to get at, is that like things just kind of fall into place when it's with the right person. And it can take a lot of people more time to find that person that they feel so comfortable with. But I think a lot of it is just being patient, like patient with yourself and patient with your partner. And also making sure that you're not changing them at the same time, because if you're trying to mold them into your perfect guy, your perfect partner, it's not going to be healthy for either of you, because they will resent you because you keep changing them, and you will resent them because they're not changing for you, or they're not fitting into that mold that you so hoped they would. So it's just a lot of like patience, and also like accepting that things aren't going to be easy. Like things aren't going to just kind of fall into place. The chemistry might be there from the start, but to get to the weird stage, the comfort stage, like the 100% comfort stage, like it can take a little bit of time. And that's okay. Like there's still potential if you're with someone who is patient with you, who cares about you, who is interested in you and wants to continue learning about you no matter how long you've been dating. Because that's another thing. You guys will always keep learning about each other no matter what. And that's the fun, mysterious thing about relationships sometimes. And I think that as long as you just remember, like it takes time to build your relationship and get it to be in that comfort area and that comfort zone where you're just like, okay, I just farted in front of you. I mean, it's true. It's true. It can take time to get that weird. I'm just trying to like paint a picture on how weird it gets, because when you start a relationship, that's not going to be the first thing you do. You're not going to be like, oh, I'm so comfortable with you, let me just, do that. Like, you won't do that, because you're just going to be more like mindful about making things mysterious, keeping things secretive, like in a healthy way. Like you guys aren't gonna, like, what other weird things? I don't know. There's a lot of weird things that can just take a full 180. But I mean, I think that you can't. What I'm trying to say is you can't expect yourself to feel like it's okay to do that right off the get-go. You can't. And if you do, that's fine. You're just more confident, and I admire you for that. But for other people, it might take time to like open up and be their complete selves. Like, even if that means like crying. Oh my gosh, I don't even remember the first time I've cried in front of my boyfriend. The first of many, many, many times that I've cried in front of my boyfriend, I can't even remember anymore. But all I know is that, like, sometimes they can be your safe space. Your partner can make you feel safe and can give you that sense of comfort that you need in that moment. And that's why you're able to be vulnerable. And that's another side of vulnerability, is your emotions. And then all the physical stuff that happens to your body that you decide to let go of is another thing. But it's just a matter of just trying to understand that the person you're with isn't going to be perfect, but they're going to be perfect for you because they just are. I mean, they're going to have flaws. You're going to have flaws. No one's perfect, nor should we kind of aim them to be on a pedestal. It's extremely perfect, zero flaws whatsoever. That's not it. I mean, it's really not the case. There's going to be a lot of imperfections. There's the good, the bad, the ugly, and the awesome as well. And you're just going to learn to accept every single side of them. Their hangry side, their tired side, their annoying side, their extremely stubborn side. Yeah. You're gonna know a lot of their sides, and they just come out. You know, you never know when to expect it, but they just come out and show themselves and make themselves seen. And it's just a matter of just laughing or taking things with a grain of salt, because at the end of the day, like, that's who they are. They can be annoying, just like we can be annoying. We can be hangry, we can be tired, we can just not have a good day. And they're allowed to have those days as well. They're allowed to kind of embrace their emotions whichever way they do, as long as they respect you, of course. That's another thing. I feel like a partner should also be extremely respectful towards you and want nothing but the best for you, care for you, like treat you as you should and nothing less. And I do think that once it starts getting into manipulation, or you just see a different side of them where they become abusive, whether that's verbally or physically, those are red flags, and those are things that you have to keep sight of and try to remind yourself that that's not okay. You don't have to keep making excuses for someone who's going to keep showing you their bad side. And I know that no one's perfect. We accept all their flaws eventually, but that's something that you don't accept, is abuse and just violence and manipulation and someone who lies a lot. Like, those traits should be left for another episode because there are so many traits that you should not make excuses for. And I know that sometimes people who are in relationships with others who have those traits, it's mostly because they're trying to figure out their own self-worth, and they almost feel like they deserve that, like that they're not worth more than what they actually are. And it is unfortunate, but I do think that there's a way around this. I promise. But a few of the things that I've learned as a hopeless romantic girl that I am, or woman that I am now at 25, is that love is possible for you. And I don't mean to get emotional, but I might. Because ever since I was younger, just constantly being a hopeless romantic girl that I've always been in my inner heart, is I've always looked at movies, which is a bad thing because movies are not realistic, and my boyfriend tells me all the time, but to me they are. But in that moment, like being little, watching movies, just like typical love stories. I'm so into rom-coms. I love them so much. But I just love so much. So can you blame me? But I think that watching like people fall in love has always given me hope that I would find the same. And I never knew how long it would take. Of course, who does? If you do, that's kind of weird. But I always felt that love was out there for me, that I was literally going to find my husband soon, okay? I wanted it more than anything else in the world. Like, forget a career, forget knowing what major you were going to be in college, forget like what school you were going to go to once you graduated, or what job you were going to get, what you're going to be when you're older. Forget all that. I was not thinking about that. I was not thinking about that at all, okay? And that's a bad thing. No, that's not a bad thing. I just knew that I wanted so badly to share my experiences with my other person, with my person, okay? And I always knew that I would find him. I just didn't know where. And the crazy thing is that I put myself out there more than I can count. So many times. And not that I'm a player, because I'm not, nor do I want to come off as one. But I just felt like, what is there to lose? Like, I don't know. They say no, they don't like me back, they see me as a friend, they just think I'm cute, but as a friend, I've gotten it all. I've gotten it all. And I felt that even though there were many times I've gotten rejected, many times I've gotten rejected, I felt like it didn't hit me as much, okay? And that's kind of weird to say because, you know, I just put myself out there and then it didn't work out. Like, you know, whatever is how I dealt with it. Like, yes, it would suck, but I didn't let it get to the point where I'm like I'm like head over heels over someone, tell them finally at last that I have feelings for them, and then get shut down. Like, no. That's not what I do. I would stop it from getting to that point. You see, because when you like someone a lot, you go from, oh, this person's cute, to, I really like them, to, oh my gosh, I really like them, to the part where you're like, I love them. Maybe love is a strong word, but just insanely like them a lot, and I can't get them out of my head anymore, and I can't tell them how I feel about them because I'm nervous. What if they don't feel the same way? You see, like, you can't let it get to that part of the stage. You kind of have to stop yourself in your tracks, rewind, and go back to the beginning. The very beginning stages of, oh, this person's cute. That's where you put yourself out there. And I've never thought that I've ever done that, like, strategically, ever, until now. Because I think that's why I wasn't let down so hard, since I just stopped in my tracks. The second I thought that someone was cute, not that I would automatically be like, okay, do you like me? I would let it get to the point where it's like, okay, they're cute and they're nice and like, I like talking to them. Where is this going? I ask those questions, and that's where I put myself out there. Tell them what I really think. And sometimes I'm mistaken. Or I should say, a lot of the times I was mistaken. These guys were just being my friend, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that as long as you kind of remind yourself, like, okay, silly me, as like at least I said something about it and I'm not wondering about it and thinking I have a chance when I really don't, and then waiting years and years of liking the same person and then finally telling them and they don't feel the same way. Like, that would be a huge letdown. And of course you're going to feel discouraged to keep going and putting yourself out there. But I think that's the beauty of just putting yourself out there in your early tracks, because that's how I got my boyfriend. That's actually literally how I got my boyfriend. I mean, I think the one thing that like caught me extremely off guard, in the best way possible, of course, is that okay, let me just paint you a picture. Ready? I told you this is gonna get cheesy. But I was in class. We had the same class. This is my senior year of high school, okay? And my last semester of senior year of high school. Wow. And I had already put myself out there and I got rejected. And I was just like, whatever. Because in my head, I think I was mostly like, I think I was braver, like, towards the end of, like, high school, because I knew that I was going to graduate, and silly me for thinking I would never see anyone from high school, which is such a lie. But I literally felt that way. I was like, well, I'm graduating, whatever. They like me, they like me. If they don't, my husband is in college, I guess. I'll just be putting myself out there a lot. And not even to, like I said, not even to be a player or for casual hookups or anything like that. Like, I genuinely just wanted to meet my person. And I'm just like, I was determined to do that. And I would talk to whoever to see if that was the case, if there was a spark, if there was a chance, if there was hope and all that stuff. And like, I had that class, pop cultures, my senior year of high school, my very last semester. And I just remember sitting in the back of the classroom, just, being a student. And we were presenting. Everyone was presenting something. And people kept presenting. And I'm just like, oh, this is so boring. I can't wait to graduate. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like chit-chatting with a friend as quiet as possible. And then all of a sudden, I see my boyfriend, like, for the first time, as you could say. Like, I see him in front of the classroom. To this day, I don't know if he was by himself or he was with someone. If he was with someone, I did not see him. But I just remember seeing my boyfriend. And I was like, I was blown away. Blown away, I tell you. Because his confidence was out of this world. Like, I swear to you. I was literally just minding my business, like I said. He goes up in front of the classroom, starts talking. He literally owned that presentation. He's like talking with so much confidence, like not shy, because that's another thing. I hate public speaking. Go figure. Like standing up in front of a classroom, having everyone's eyeballs at me. I'd rather just not know, so a podcast is kind of my excuse to do that. But I was just, like, whenever I would present, I'd be like, okay, so this is what I wanted to do, or this is what I'm going to talk about. I'm awkward. Let's just say that. I'm awkward. And meanwhile, my boyfriend is owning the front of the room. And I just remember, like, just looking at him, and he has blonde hair and blue eyes. And I was just like, that was never my type. And suddenly, my mind changed when he went up the room. And I was just like, wow. I was blown away. And I was so blown away that I had to tell someone about it. Like, I'm a girl, So I told my friend next to me. And I'm like, who is that? Like, do you think he's cute? Because I was like, who is this guy? Like, is he a junior? Please don't be a sophomore or a freshman. And my friend was like, no, I don't think he's cute. But what, you think he is? Like, he's Mike. And I'm like, who? I don't know. This is the first time we're talking. Or the first time, like, I've ever seen him. So I was just like, oh, okay. And then, when you tell someone in high school, it's gonna spread. And long story short, my now boyfriend knew I liked him, which it's so cringy to me because it's so childish that this happened. But then at the same time, I'm glad that this happened, because otherwise we wouldn't be here together after 7 years. But anyway, so yeah, long story short, he found out. I was like, oh my gosh, how can he find out that I have a crush on him? I don't even know him. He's gonna be like, who is this girl liking me? We never even talked. And then we started, like, occasionally talking. Like, he would comment or something here or there. And, like, I don't know. I would just get awkward all over again, because that's how I am with guys. I'm just like, ugh, I don't know how to talk to you. And then little by little, that's how it started. Like, just, like, casual, like, little comments here and there that were insignificant to him, probably. But to me, they were everything. I was just like, oh my gosh, I got to talk to him. And it was weird knowing that he knew that I liked him. But it's okay, because it kind of helped him talk to me during, like, a senior picnic that we had, which we both went to. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's him. And I didn't even want to tell more people that I liked him, because I'm like, you know what? We're graduating tomorrow. Let me just get over it. And I just took things casually. I, of course, was going to be like, oh my gosh, he talked to me in my head. But I didn't want to make things a big deal, because I'm like, if things were meant to happen, they would have already. We're graduating the next day. Like, we're graduating the next day. Like, I don't even know what college he's going to go to. What if we don't work out? Like, all of these questions were up in the air. And we graduated. I'm bad at telling stories. We graduated the next day. And nothing happened. Like, I don't even remember seeing him graduate. Like, now I regret it, because darn. But apparently, guys, oh my gosh, squeakiness of my voice. Apparently, he was looking for me to take a picture. He wanted a picture with me, and I was going to meet his family, because his whole family was there. And I couldn't even believe that he even said that to me, that he actually was looking for me to take a picture, because he just remembered me as a dorky girl that thought he was cute or whatever and was nice. I don't know. And I can't even believe it. But he was looking for me, and bada bing, bada boom, we went home after graduation, as we all do. And I'm just like, well, I graduated. This is weird. And then all the graduation parties start coming around. It's like, okay, I have one on Wednesday, one on Thursday, one on Friday. I have another one on Saturday. Like all these back-to-back graduation parties that I loved, okay? And the graduation party that he messaged me at was my best friend's graduation party. I was just there hanging out, and then I saw that he messaged me on Facebook, and that's how it started. He pretty much said, I think you're cool / nice. Like, I think we should hang out sometime. And I was like, what? So the rest is pretty much history. We exchanged numbers. I was like, not sure of what was to come, but it just blossomed into such a beautiful and perfect relationship in my eyes. Like, it's so cute. And that's the thing that I want you to take away from this episode, is that it blossoms when you least expect it. You just have to have that hope. You have to keep holding on tight. You have to put yourself out there, make yourself uncomfortable, be stupid, okay? Because I was able to do that. Of course, not knowing that I was, but just being silly, being awkward, being everything, because since I did that, he was able to see who I actually was, which was pretty weird. But then at least he saw that I was nice, or felt that, we could hang out. So that was fine with me. And I just think that the chemistry is what the foundation of the relationship is. Because, guys, you'll never guess, but after graduation, we started talking. And then we started talking and going to graduation parties like together and hanging out together at those graduation parties and just like really enjoying spending time together, even though everything was so new. But the craziest part is that we only talked for a week. Like, talked for a whole week, and then we dated, because that's how much chemistry we had. And we just felt like we could talk to each other about anything, okay? I was already rapping in his car, like, on our first date. So yeah, guys, I know that must have been a shocker to only talk for a week and then start dating, but sometimes it's just insane how much chemistry you have with someone. And the cutest part was that I just remember when I first texted him, like, how it's just like, hey, what's up? Not much, you? Not much. Or nothing. And then the conversation just dies. Like, that was not how it was for us. We were just talking about so many things as we were getting to know each other. And I think that's the most beautiful part. And I felt extremely comfortable with him right from the start. And what worried me, though, was that when we were texting, I was like, is this just going to be like, I don't know, like a situation where things are just so great via text, and then as soon as you hang out with them in person, it's just horrible. It's awkward. It's awkward silences here, awkward silences there. But no, it was not like that at all. And that's what I'm saying, that it just happens naturally. You're just yourself magically. you're comfortable, you are goofy, you're silly, you're weird, and they still accept you for that because they show you how they can be weird too. And I find it amazing to think that throughout the years of me just being a hopeless romantic, putting myself out there, just desiring for a love that I have now, like, it's undescribable how much this person means to me. Like, oh my gosh. I just think that, like, when it's meant to happen, it will, no matter what. And so many things could have, like, torn us apart. Like, just graduating high school, going to college, graduating college. Like, we survived it all. Not survived, but we went through it together. We lifted each other up. We just were there for one another through the rough times and through the good times. And I truly think that, like, it's such a blessing being able to share life with someone. You know, like, to do life with someone. It's such a blessing. And have moments that others may think are insignificant, such as watching a movie, playing a video game. But to us, it's everything. Like, we are our complete selves around each other. I mean, I'd hope so, 7 years later. And I was actually asking him this yesterday, how it's just wild to think about, like, how we were when we first started dating to now. Like, how did we get this far? Like, how did we get comfortable? Like, now we're just, like, there's no holding back now. Like, we literally feel, or at least I can only speak for myself, but I literally feel so complete having him around. And I have so much love for him, blending in so well with my family, being so kind, being so genuine, and having such a big heart. Like, I don't know who else could handle my craziness, you know? And I just think that, like, it's times when I reflect that, like, makes me extremely grateful for having him. And this episode just became a tribute to him. Not a tribute, oh my gosh. But it's just, it's amazing how someone can make you feel. And it's like no one else will understand it until they're going through it themselves. And, like, I can't even describe you, like how perfect time spent with him is. And I think that what gets me even more excited and emotional just thinking about it is, like, literally we're gonna be moving in together next year, and I am so excited. We're both counting down. We can't wait. And we kind of got a taste for it a little bit these past few days where we were just together, like, and it was just perfect. I keep saying that word, but it's like I think, like, I was just even telling him, like every time either we spend so much time together or we go on a trip together and just have so much fun because we blend so well together, like, we're the same person. and we're so different at the same time, if that even makes sense. But I was even telling him, like, when we were together these past few days, just like back to back to back, I'm just like, how can something this perfect even exist? Like, this is what people go through. Like, this is what parents go through. This is what marriages look like, where you're living with your best friend. It's just awesome. I'm such a nerdy person when I talk about this, because it's so exciting, and it's just like, of course I see things like for the first time as how they are, and it's amazing to know that just because you found the right person means that, like, you know, you're with your best friend, hopefully for the rest of your life. And I say hopefully because sometimes people might not find the right person and then it might not work out. But for me, it's like, this is it. Like, next year will be the start of something amazing with him. And like I said, we both have been counting down. I literally have a countdown on my phone. And it's just such an exciting point in our lives. And I think it just puts things into perspective. Like, if you are living with someone currently, like, appreciate this, because I envy you so much. Like, I can just imagine how amazing it is to have those feelings, to live with your best friend, and not saying that it's going to be easy every step of the way, that it's going to be fun every single second, because I am messy, and that I know is going to be an issue, or at least I hope not. But it's like, no matter what happens, like, knowing that you can get through it because you're with the right person is such a comforting feeling in my heart. Like, it's just undescribable. You can't compare it. There's no feeling like it, you know? And that's what I have to say. And I think that even if you're not in a relationship, even if you're searching for that special someone that, like, gets you choked up because you're thinking about them and you just want to hang out with them all the time, like, it's okay. Your time will come. I promise. It really will. Just keep putting yourself out there. And I just want to remind you that you don't have to settle for anyone if they're not checking your boxes. And these boxes aren't like, he has a 6-pack, he has brown hair, he has this, he has that. Like, forget about the physical traits. Focus on what actually matters, because that is what is going to be the glue of everything. If you don't like his personality, but you like his 6-pack, reconsider, because his 6-pack is going to go away, but his personality is not. So I think that just keeping that in mind when you're looking for that special someone, to remind yourself that no one's going to be perfect just how you like him. Like, he may not be taller than you. He may be shorter than you. Like, you have to make sure not to tear them apart from the second you see them. Like, look past things that are physical. Really, look past things that are physically there and focus on things that you can't see. Focus on what values he has, what he cares about. Like, is he a family person? Like, all those questions that are important to you for a long-term partner is important to, like, keep asking yourself those questions. It's not like as soon as I started dating my boyfriend, I'm just like, okay, he loves his family, he loves this. Like, I wasn't physically checking every box. But, like, I think with time, it's just like you meet them and then you keep getting to know them more and more and more every single day. And then you start realizing like, oh, like, we mesh well. And oh, we both have similar views. We both want a family. We both want this. We both want that. Like, all of those long-term goals are crucial because that is what can help you have a better vision for whether this is going the right way or not. And now my boyfriend and I were stuck like glued together forever. And it's just like we've gotten to that part. Like we've grown so much in our relationship, and we've grown together the same exact way. And it keeps things exciting. You're always going to be excited to keep getting to know them, to keep having the love for each other just get stronger. And that's what love is. And that's what falling in love is, and being in love. Like, as stupid as it sounds, it's like, for me, I see it as a fairy tale sometimes, because I'm just like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, it's wild to reflect on, especially considering how many times I've gotten heartbroken in the past when things just didn't work out. And that's okay. Like, if things don't work out, you don't have to force it to work out in order to kind of piece those together and glue your relationship back together, despite it not being meant to be together, It's something that you have to remind yourself, like, nothing that you do when it comes to love should ever be forced. It should just come naturally, because the second you force something, the second you force a feeling, or you just kind of force yourself to just accept them, that's when things just kind of start withering away and falling apart. And you don't want that feeling of trying to force someone into a relationship. If someone doesn't like you, someone else will. That's kind of how my mentality was in the very beginning stages, when it just didn't matter as much. It wasn't that deep. You don't like me? Okay, whatever. I'm one step closer to meeting the person that's meant to be with me, and I'm excited. And then there I was with the person that I'm meant to be with. And it's just amazing how life works, and just reminding yourself that you will have that time. Those romantic movies that you watch, all the love songs you listen to, the rom-coms, everything, it'll get to become a reality. You'll get there, and don't focus on every little perfect piece, because nothing's gonna be perfect. And if you keep comparing your life to a movie, it's not gonna go well, because it's not the same thing. But just reminding yourself that it's okay to have flaws in your relationship. It's okay to have flaws within yourself. Find flaws within them, because no one is perfect. No relationship is perfect. But you just have to find the perfect in them. There's always something that is going to just mean the absolute world. And yeah, let's just leave it at that. They can be your whole world. They can literally mean the whole world to you. And that's something that everyone should always treasure, because it's something very special. So there you go. There's that. So everyone, I really hope this podcast made you smile at least once. Stay tuned for more advice and positivity next Friday. As always, it's Mayra. I really hope that you guys are all encouraged to either figure out whether you're falling in love, finding out you're falling in love with this episode and all the signs. And even just knowing that you'll be falling in love in the near future, and it'll be the most beautiful thing you've ever experienced, because that's what love is. It's so beautiful and just so perfect, to say the least. And I know this episode was very, very cheesy, but hey, I warned you. Literally, the very first few seconds of the episode, so can't say I didn't tell you. But I do hope that you guys were able to learn something from this and to not give up hope, because your time will come and there's no looking back from there. Bye!